Hello, my friends, and welcome to a speed build on my channel. I know I can't quite believe it either, but here it is, a speed build. It has been a hot titty minute since I've had a speed build on the channel, for goodness sakes. This is the mythical speed build that I've been talking about for probably a couple of months. I've just been playing around with the speed build for, well, this build in general for, God, quite a few weeks now. Obviously, it's called the Ghibli, by the way. It's obviously paying respect to the amazing, amazing movie collection that are the Ghibli movie collections. So I've just played around with this lot and built my favorite looking buildings that were in the actual movies. So we've got, this is obviously from Kiki's Delivery Service. This is the bakery. And what else did I do? I did the house. Now, I'm not an expert by any means, so I'm probably going to get loads of names wrong with, like, Ghibli stuff. I probably, in fact, I will. I can guarantee it. But I still had fun building this. I really did. I was just going to do, like, one build and concentrate on it and make it look absolutely, well, in my eyes, perfect. But what I wanted to do instead was just mash everything together and just have this big Ghibli explosion going over a big 64 by 64 lot in Windenburg. And that's what we did. That is what we've been and gone and done. And I had a lot of fun. I did. I had a lot of fun making this place. There are so many amazing Ghibli builds out there. I have seen so many. One of my friends, Relevant Sims, I'm not sure if she's creating videos at the minute, but she used to do some of the most amazing Ghibli builds. I used to absolutely love them. And I've always wanted to do it myself. So I thought, what better time than when you're in lockdown to do it? And this is what I came up with. And I'm very happy with it. I very much am. Now, this, I will go ahead and say, I really wanted this build to run really well on computers. So I didn't furnish anything. I've just made everything look very, almost not like to the T, but I tried to get it looking exactly like it. And with limitations in The Sims 4, it's sometimes really difficult. But I tried my hardest, and sometimes that is all you can do. And that is what I did. I really did. But I still had fun. I still had fun creating this. I really did. What other things did we build in here? Obviously, we've got the bakery from Kiki's Delivery Service. I also built the older lady's house. I can't remember what she's called from Kiki's Delivery Service. I built the house from Ponyo. The cliff top kind of scene that is in Princess Mononoke. I don't know how to say it. I've only ever watched that film once, but you'll see that in a minute. I did like a little house on top of a cliff and whatnot. What else did we do? We built the houses for, or the street from Spirited Away. We built a miniature version of Howl's Moving Castle. Yeah. I still had fun. I did. I remember years ago seeing Hatsy build Howl's Moving Castle. I absolutely loved that build. That was absolutely iconic, and I was here for it. But I just kind of wanted to give my own little version of it, and that's what we went and did with this build. We did. This bit here was really difficult. I remember trying to, I was like, I'm not furnishing this, but I still want this to be usable for people who will download this. And maybe if you want to furnish it yourself, then go ahead. That's what it's there for. You can play around with my builds as much as you like, my loves. But I was like, right, this is where Kiki lives. This is supposed to be her kind of little bedroom where does she rent it, or did she get given it for free for work or something? I can't remember, but this is where she lives. This is where she lives. So I was like, well, I'm going to have some kind of stairway up to it, because it wouldn't make sense. And Kiki would be absolutely fuming if she didn't have her own bedroom. And this is what we did. You can see there's like roofs like sticking in everywhere. And I was just like, oh my God. I did do quite a bit off of camera as well, just to tweak it in places and make it look okay on the insides. But yeah, that could be part of your fun. You can go and furnish this into your heart's content, my loves. Yes. So yeah, I did promise you a speed build today, and here it is. I cannot believe it. I cannot believe it. I did say I will be bringing a build out tomorrow as well, or a video out tomorrow, But I'm actually going to take tomorrow off, my friends. I'm going to take tomorrow off and just chill out. Just have a nice chilled day. And we're going to be back building Let's Build Newcrest. We've got Mrs. Higginbottom's house to do. And I'm also going to be getting early access next week as well. So we're obviously going to be early access to Eco Lifestyle. Should have been called Eco Living. Just saying. Yeah, we're going to be getting early access to that as well. So I will be doing like a build and world overview videos. Maybe a couple, maybe a world overview video, and maybe a build and buy mode video. So expect a couple of videos from them coming next week as well. But also, I'm going to be starting a little mini Let's Play. I am. We're going to be going into the council block in Newcrest, and that is going to be our kind of main focus with the Let's Play. We're going to really delve into those characters, but all of the other characters that we've built for Let's Build Newcrest, we're still going to be kind of carrying on with them as well and bringing them into the picture and maybe visiting their houses and whatnot. But yeah, I thought that would be quite fun. It might only be like a few parts, but I thought it would be fun. I had so much fun doing that little kind of Let's Play with the Park Lane Apartments the other day. I had an absolute blast. So I was just like, do you know what? I'm going to bite the bullet. You guys seem to have enjoyed it. So that's what we went ahead and did. Yes. So obviously we've done the bakery build. This wasn't any particular reference picture or anything. I went off on this. I just really wanted to get my own aesthetic in and try and make it look Ghibli-esque with the colours and the feel of the builds. Because I found with the architecture in all of Ghibli movies, it wasn't necessarily focused on one area in the world. I saw a lot of European architecture. I saw a lot of Asian architecture. So this kind of let my imagination run wild, and that's what we went and did with this, and I had so much bloody fun. Really did. I tell you what else inspired this row of... Okay, recording might have got a bit weird then. I had a knock at the door, so I had to run down. I was fuming, absolutely fuming about it. I think what I was saying was this row of houses, the thing that inspired this as well was the Untitled Goose Game. I don't know if anybody's played that. I know it's completely different to any kind of Ghibli-esque vibe, but that was a real inspiration as well for this little row of houses. Now you can you can get access to each one of these houses, including the houses behind as well. So your Sims can get everywhere on this lot. But obviously they're not furnished, but you can, as I've said, you can furnish it yourselves. It's absolutely fine. I will not be angry. I would not. So even if you wanted to furnish them and then re-upload them to the gallery, I would love to see what you guys have gone and done with it. Definitely. Really would. But yeah, I don't know if anybody's played that game. It's well, it's about a goose. It's an untitled goose game. And you literally just go around causing havoc in an English village somewhere. It's hysterical. I absolutely loved it. I've got it on the Switch and yeah, I loved it. Loved it. Let me know if any of you guys out there have played it as well. I'd be very interested to know. But when I was playing that game and I was seeing the color palette that they chose for the game, or the styling, the art style, I was like, this reminds me of a Ghibli movie. The coloring, and even though it is set in an English village and stuff, but again, it's not I found with Ghibli architecture, it's not kind of focused in on one area of the world. It's kind of universal. Yeah, it kind of made sense. And I was just like, I'm going to take inspiration from this. Obviously the Ghibli color palette as well. We're gonna do it. And that's what we went and been and gone and done. And I loved it. Absolutely loved it. They're so cute, these houses. Obviously they're not going to be accessible upstairs because stairs won't fit that far. But we are getting ladders very soon. So you could flop a ladder in one or two of them and be absolutely fine. It would be stunning and we would all collectively be here for it. And that is the mantra of today. Really is. Feels very strange me having face cam on a speed build because I never usually do this. But I asked you guys if you would want that and you said yes. So here we are. It was very difficult to kind of set up. I had to render the video first. And it didn't render very well. It goes a little bit pixelated here and there. But the main focus, when it's stood still, it kind of focuses in. So I'm sorry about that. couldn't help it. I need some new parts for my PC. I'm thinking about upgrading my PC a little bit this year. So yeah, I'm kind of excited for that. We need a bigger boy. We need a bigger boy with a bigger, juicier engine. This little shitty roof here, by the way, I had to go in after filming the kind of little tour that I do at the beginning, the little overview. I forgot to paint the roof, and I noticed it after I'd rendered the video to record over the top of it. That was fun to come across that. Yeah, really, really fun. I'm glad I came across it and none of you guys, because you would have slated me and read me to filth. Yeah, it's that yellow one over there, you little shit. It's very, very angry with it. Very angry. I'd be interested to know your guys' favourite Ghibli movie as well. Please let me know down in the comment box below. Mine is probably Kiki's Delivery Service. I love Totoro as well. That's one of my favourites. Oh, there's so many. Spirited Away, obviously, is just an absolute iconic classic. And I'm here for that. But I don't know. I haven't really thought about it, to be honest. I just like all of them. I haven't watched all of them either. Especially that Princess. I've only watched like half of the Princess. I can't say that word. It's like I'll bring it up on the screen here. Like Mononoke. Totally crucified that. But yeah, I definitely need to go back and give that a really good watch. If you are in the UK, by the way, or Ireland, we have got all of the Ghibli movies on Netflix at the minute. I don't know if anybody knew that. I think you would if you are a Ghibli fan. But yeah, they are all up there on Netflix that you can go and watch them. And I have watched a few this quarantine. And I'm definitely going to be watching a whole lot more very soon. I've been also... well, my partner has just been putting the finishing touches to the painting in my office. So hopefully, oh, please, very soon, I'm going to be back in my office and not using this shitty webcam that I'm using at the minute. I hate it. I've got my new shiny camera. It's right there. But I'm also waiting for a few other things as well. A couple of things I got from Elgato is the multi-mount for the camera to be able to be put up high. And also I've got one of their key lights as well. I'm getting rid of my ring light because I just find it's way too harsh for me. And it hurts my eyes and it kicks off loads of like heat. So I'm, yes, got some new lighting and yes, fancy things coming soon. And I definitely need to buy a new green screen. I've got, it's an okay green screen. It's kind of stretched out already. I don't have to flop it down on anything. But I want the one where you can like whip up, like Plumbella's got. I want to whip it up like Plumbella and have that green screen. I think that would be iconic and we're here for it. Really is. But yeah, I really went to town on these little areas. You can see at the back here, I'm kind of doing an elevated height. I kind of wanted houses to kind of come over the top of the houses in the front. So I knew I had to kind of lift up the area just behind it just to be able to get that look when you're kind of looking straight on at the build. And it came out really well. It really did. I was quite excited about that. Quite excited about it. Now, again, all of this is accessible to your Sims. Your Sims can get up here, which is quite cool. I was going to go down the route of making this like a theme park because I know there is a Ghibli theme park being built at the minute. I'm not sure where. I'm sure one of you guys would let me know in the comments. There's a Ghibli like theme park being built somewhere, which is just absolutely iconic, really, to be honest with you. I'd be very much up to go into that. But yeah, I kind of thought about like, oh, do I really want to have this theme park? And then I was like, no, do you know what? I'm just going to use this as me kind of paying respects to the Ghibli aesthetic and just getting creative and building loads of little like nooks and crannies and just trying to make it look like it. And that's what we went and did. And I'm very pleased. Very pleased of it indeed. I've been sat out in the garden today. I don't know if you can like see, but I have caught a tan, girl. I'm so excited about it. I've been, well, ever since lockdown has started, like the UK has been basking in this amazing summer. It's been absolutely amazing. And I can't imagine what it would have been like if the weather was awful this whole time that we were in lockdown. Like, I think it would have been a travesty. A travesty, but it's not. And don't worry, I've got Factor 50 on. I'm always a good boy. I always put on Factor. And I never sit in the sun for longer than an hour. So, before all you mums come out and start telling me off for tanning my tits in the garden. Just thought I'd get that in there as well. Now, this is the house from Ponyo. I love this house. It's such a cute, beautiful little house. This was the first build that I was going to just concentrate on and build this, like, and try do all the insides. And this was the first one I was like, oh, maybe we'll do a little mini Ghibli series. And then I was like, no, because I always say I do a series and I end up not finishing it because I'm just one of these people that like to have multiple things going on at once. But in the end, I just wanted to do loads of little mini Ghiblis, and that's what we did. We went and did it, and I'm very happy with how it turned out. I love the front garden to this house. I love the fact that it's got this like really little like slope going up with all these lovely flowers, and then it's got like a little carport down in the corner. I just thought it was perfect, and I definitely wanted it to kind of be at the forefront of the house, of the build as well. So I did put it next to the bakery, which, yeah, I thought it was cute. Obviously, Sims limitations, nothing's going to look exactly the same, but I tried to make it look as good as I possibly could in The Sims, and that is all you need to do with things, because it's, as always, it's hard to get everything looking exactly like it is in anything. But if you can just pay respect to it, and I don't know, I'm kind of happy. Very happy with how it turned out. You'll have to let me know in the comment box below what you guys think, because I, for one, I'm pleased with it. I'm pleased with it. It would have been nicer if it was fully furnished. I know I usually do that with my big builds. You guys do know me, but I was just like, do you know what? I'm going to keep this one kind of unfurnished and just let the aesthetic shine through instead of like going through with all the details inside. And yeah, kind of happy with it. Very happy. I did have a bit of difficulty with the actual color of the house, like Ponyo's house. I was like, ooh, what can the yellows weren't right, and then I managed to find one that was just a little bit flatter than the original yellow, but it still worked, and I was still happy with it towards the end. It really was. I downloaded some characters off of the gallery as well, some like Ghibli inspired characters, and there was a guy wandering around in a towel for some reason. I don't know what character he was supposed to be, but I did find that quite funny. Did find it quite funny indeed. This is the little like carport area. So I just overlapped some of these glass roofs, and just made it look like it was like the actual carport as well. It was quite easy to kind of replicate that, and yeah, loved it. Loads of terrain painting went on with this build. Lots of it, and lots of move objects on. As always, if you do download this into the gallery, from the gallery, make sure you've got move objects on before you put the house down or the build, because yeah, everything might float away and disappear, especially on Howl's Moving Castle, because that was not a struggle. I had a lot of fun creatively trying to do that, but it was quite hard to replicate it perfectly, because you're not going to be able to replicate that amazing creation. That's another one of my favorites, actually. That is a really, really... See, I just can't even pick what favorite, because there are so many good ones. But yeah, that was definitely one of my favorites. With the color palette, with the flowers, I was trying to keep with like oranges, yellows, pinks, but making it look almost kind of cartoonish. But then again, trying to make it look a little bit more realistic as well. Obviously, those terrain paints don't match up with the tiles and the stairs that I used there, but that was the best with what we had, and that was all that mattered. It really was. Now, I'm going to talk to you guys a bit more about my schedule now. I'm going to be posting videos Monday to Friday, every day. That will be a mixture of Let's Builds. I'm definitely going to try and get a speed build out every single week once I have left my job. Officially, I've still got to go back for a month yet, just to get clients sorted and moved on and recommended to other people. But as soon as that happens, I will definitely be bringing in a speed build out every week, and a mixture of Let's Builds, challenges, Let's Plays. We're just gonna have fun. I'm gonna dive into creating videos with both feet. I don't know if that's the right saying, but it sounds right, so we're going to go with it and just live. But yeah, I'm definitely going to work my hardest. I definitely will. And don't worry, I'm not going to over exhaust myself with getting all of this content uploaded. I think a Monday to Friday is a perfect way to work. Plus, I'll be streaming 3 of those days as well. So keep an eye out for all of that. I've just managed to get some new stuff for the stream ready for that to get started. But again, streams won't start until I've left my job officially as well, because I'm going to be working 3 days a week while for a month. But I'm excited. I'm excited to see some of you guys there. I'm excited to see some old faces, and I'm excited to see some new ones, because I know we've had lots of people come and join the channel recently, and it's just been good. It's been so good to see you guys just interact in the comments, leave your comments. Like, some of your comments are so amazing. They really are. I read every single one. Yes, I can't reply to every single... Oh god, I nearly swallowed my tongue. I can't reply to every single one, but I do read every single one. So if I leave a heart on it, trust me, I have read it and I have appreciated it. And if I have replied to it, that's because it either A, made me piss myself, or B, I needed to maybe disagree with something and give my own opinion on it because I'm that kind of bitch. Or C, I just felt like it. And that's all it comes down to. All it comes down to, but they are appreciated either way anyway. So this is the older lady's house from Kiki's delivery service. Couldn't get this. If I was doing this build by itself without this lot around it, I would have done this so much more differently. I would have used medium height walls for a start, but I made sure that every single wall height had to be a short wall height, and you can't mix and change them no matter what height the builds are in. If you're building at a different level to another level and those have got small heights, they still count that second floor as a medium height wall. So I had to keep them at small height walls, which is a bit of a shame, but I still think I got the feel and the aesthetic through with this. And yeah, it's cute. It's a cute little house, like just plopped in the middle. It looks a bit odd, looks a bit random. I tried to make everything, even though it is just houses from different like films, I tried to make everything be cohesive and kind of like fit together. And I did that a lot with terrain paints and pathways and foliage and landscaping. But I had so much fun. I really did. It definitely would be a Victorian house, I think, this one. Obviously, it's only in a cartoon, but from looking at it, it definitely reminds me of a nice, big Victorian manor. And yeah, I loved that house. Loved that older lady's character as well. I cannot remember what she was called, which is such a shame. Because she was a great character. She really was. She was a lovely character, and I was here for her throughout the whole process. Oh, it's very hot in my office. Oh, wait, this isn't my office. It's the spare bedroom. It's very hot in the spare bedroom. I'm definitely going to be having to get air conditioning, or a little air conditioning unit for my office for when I'm going to be recording and streaming and stuff, because I cannot bear being in a hot office and trying to record. It is awful. Absolutely awful. But yeah, you can see with the color palette that I said I chose, the peaches and the pinks and the, I don't know, just it gave me Ghibli vibes, especially these flowers. I went through all of the flower catalog as well, and I was just like, what ones say Ghibli to me? And these were the ones. They were like, hi, Ghibli, Ghibli. so I used them. I did. I absolutely used them. Yeah, I'm sorry about that like weird pixelated thing whenever my camera turns. It is a bit jarring. It must be a problem in Premiere Pro. I have no idea. No idea. But yeah, I go ahead and litter this whole build here with loads and loads of ivy and flowers and everything all up the sides of the build, because I just thought it just, one, it had it on them in the actual cartoon, but two, I just thought it looked bloody lovely. Really did. So yeah, this is the cliff top kind of houses. I don't know if they were houses or maybe like work houses. I don't know what you would call them. In that princess, I can't say it, sorry. In that movie, it probably wasn't even from that movie. I don't know what movie it was from, actually. I could be completely wrong, which wouldn't surprise me, and I'm sure lots of people will tell me. But I wanted to kind of pay respect for that as well, so I used these rocks, scattered them into the corner, and just built up this little like cliffside house. I thought it was really cute. Now, obviously there's no access into this house at the top. Most of it is swallowed up by the rock anyway. I just wanted, again, to get that vibe coming through with this. And I don't know. I think it looks rather nice. I think it looks rather nice indeed. Keep catching my hair. I gave myself another haircut yesterday, and I took it a little bit too short. Maybe took it a little bit too short. My fringe looks like a cat has chewed it off in my sleep. Good job I've got curlyish hair, so I can kind of hide the worst of it. But oh well, hair grows, and I'll get it cut soon, and that's all we can say on the matter, isn't it? Really. But yeah, this is coming along nicely. I would have preferred, if I was doing this again to make sure that I could furnish it and it was perfect, I would obviously build this so the rocks weren't poking into the house. But again, I was just trying to get the aesthetic across and getting creative. I almost did this build just as a test to kind of get the Ghibli aesthetic coming through. I was kind of thinking maybe I could do that, and then I was like, no, I'm going to release this as a full bloody speed build because that is what the people would want, and I always do give the people what they want. But yeah, still cute. I still like it. I did this like outdoor kind of like train railway around the edge as well. Obviously it's not working because it is The Sims, but I still think it looks rather glorious. I really do. You'll have to let me know down in the comment box below what you guys thought of it as well. I was just like, what am I doing there? Oh yeah, I was plonking in these things. I just noticed that this build had loads of the corbels like underneath of the houses like that were kind of lifting them up onto the cliff, or holding them up, sorry. And I was like, we need to do that. So I did. I flopped them right in, and I was very happy with it after. Very much was indeed. Yes. I was kind of struggling with, and you can see that little roof bit poking through there now. That's awful. I hope we change that. Oh, we do. God for that. Yeah, I was kind of struggling with wallpapers for this. I was like, oh, what can I use here? What can we use? And in the end, I just end up using the spooky, what is it called? Spooky Day pack or something. I don't know. It was that absolutely naff Halloween pack that we got a few years ago that had like 5 objects in it. I ended up using that, and I still to this day I love the floorboards and the wooden panels that pack came with, and that's it. Everything else can do one. I'm not a fan of it at all. I love spooky stuff, but I just don't know. I don't think that pack was very well executed, not at all. So this is the little railway that I said was going on. We end up getting loads of stuff from Debug, including these kind of little piers that we've got going on. And I just made this little train look like it could run through and go into the cliffs and whatnot. Again, not usable. Me just playing around with aesthetics and trying to get this into place. And yeah, I think it's cute. I do. I had a lot of fun with this. It's very unlike me to do a build that isn't kind of like usable, if you know what I mean. I usually go to town on furnishing and making everything usable for your Sims, so your Sims can get here and do this and whatnot. I don't usually go along the lines of building something just for the aesthetics of it, but I think Ghibli is such an important aesthetic that I gave it its own moment, and this is what it is. So yeah, this bridge was like floating, so I used these telegraph poles just to kind of help make it look like it's got a bit of structure. And yeah, I thought it worked. I really did. Very much did indeed. And again, as I said, like the terrain painting on this build was just, it was crazy. It was a crazy amount of terrain painting. I'm not doing any more 64x64 builds for a very long time because they just take so much energy and so much work. But I still have fun doing them. I really do. I really do. Now, this little moment over here that we're doing, this is like the street scene from Spirited Away. There's this like it almost looks like an American Western street with all of these brightly colored buildings that would remind you of Cuba. It's just a mix of all of these different aesthetics, and that's what I tried to bring to the table here. Now, I will admit there's a part of this bit here where I do lose a little bit of the footage with me placing the windows and stuff in, but quite gladly, because this build is a long build. I know it's a long speed build. and I've probably lost most of you by now. But the ones that are here, you are the real MVPs. Thank you so much for sticking by me while I waffle on about shit. But yeah, so I actually wanted to do a little boardwalk as well, so I raise it up and use the stilted foundation from Island Living. I wish we had some more stilted foundations. I find the ones that we got with Island Living weird. I find the fact that they've got this like almost grey bit on them with the wood and stuff. I wish we just had some plain wood ones that didn't have like weird coloured feet that goes with it and stuff. I just wasn't for it. Wasn't for it at all. It just came to me what I was watching as well while I was building this part. I was listening to the Mile Higher podcast. I don't know if anybody out there listens to Kendall and Josh on Mile Higher. It's like a conspiracy, true crime, paranormal, aliens like podcast, and they talk about so much good stuff. Oh, it's so good. And I think the one that they were talking about this time was... Oh, no, I can't remember. I won't be able to remember that. But it was good. It was one of their recent ones. I had so much fun. Let me know if you guys listen to Mile Higher podcast out there as well. I'd be very interested to know if there's anybody out there who does listen to it. And if you don't, go and watch them. They are amazing. It's the Mile Higher podcast. It's so good. So good. So yeah, I was trying to get in the aesthetic of it being kind of Western, American Western vibes, but also I still wanted to have a little tiny Asian influence in there, and also make this look kind of semi-realistic. And I think I don't think it's that bad. Don't think it's that bad. I'm not tooting my own horn here, but I don't think it is that bad at all. I do like building like multiple buildings on one lot. I wish that we could use them properly. I wish that was a thing. I'm not getting my hopes up for Sims 5 being that way, because if they gave us so much more limitations with Sims 4, what's to say that they're going to do the same for Sims 5, you know? I think they'll concentrate more on the online aspect that's supposed to be Sims 5. Yeah, I think they'll go down that route, which is kind of sad because I don't really like playing with people. So, I don't know. It might be fun to meet up with people, like your friends as Sims. That could be quite fun. I remember playing Sims Online years ago and I never really liked it. I was just like, no, it's not for me. It's not for me. I think I played it like once and that was enough. So maybe they're going to miss the mark on that and completely fail on that bit. I wouldn't like to be EA if they were going to fail on Sims 5. No way. No way. But hey. So, yeah, I'm literally putting all of the roof lines. I was kind of going and making sure that every kind of little building had its own separate roofing moment. And this is the kind of thing that we kind of came up with. It's not too bad. It's not too bad. I think I show you how I would like the wallpapers that I put on. I do go ahead and do a little palette. I do that quite often, especially when I'm doing speed builds. I get out like a wall and do a palette of wallpapers just to make sure that I'm using the right ones in the right places and stuff. And yeah, I tend to do that. Do any of you guys do that out there? That'd be very... Yeah, I'd like to know, because I've seen a lot of people do that over the years, like speed builds and all sorts. I just think it's a good way to get your kind of colours and views across that way. It's quite good. But yeah, here it is, look. Here it is. I actually changed this aqua greeny colour for a bit more of a darker aesthetic. It wasn't suiting the build when it had all finished. I was just like, oh no, that looks a really bit weird. Looks a little bit weird. It's not for me. So I end up changing it and it looks a little bit better afterwards. It was just looking a little bit too childish, if you know what I mean. And in the end, it just, yeah. In the end, it just, I made up my mind. I was like, no, it's too bright. It's far too bright. I end up using a lot of this like iron roofing as well. I tend to use that like texture quite a bit. I love it. I love that roof texture. It looks good on modern builds, but also on your industrial and what this is supposed to be, kind of make-believe cartoon style. Really like it. I'd like to see some more roof patterns. Like we are very limited on roof patterns. Nearly as limited as kitchen countertops, but not quite as much. Not quite as limited as the kitchen countertops. And I end up changing as well the pink ones for the university, like striped wallpaper. It put on an extra little bit of detail onto the front of the builds that I was 100% here for. You can see me being here for it. right now. But yeah, it's really cute. So the last little bit, my darlings, the last little bit before you go ahead, and I just do a little overview of the buildings in the video tour at the end. But this is Howl's Moving Castle. I had a lot of fun playing around and trying to make this work. It was so funny. It was so funny to try and, well, for a start, I fumed quite a bit. I did, because trying to work at a height when you're kind of levitating in the air, it's not easy in The Sims 4. It isn't. It's definitely not easy, but we made it work. And you can teleport your Sims up there if you may wish. All you have to do is, when you are playing in game on PC, make sure you hold the shift button down and you can click to an area on the floor and it says teleport here, and you can just teleport them straight up. But again, the same with the kind of cliff house, the insides of this, because I wanted the outside to look like aesthetically good, I didn't really concentrate on making the inside usable. So it's just there to look pretty. It is just there to look pretty. But they had a lot of objects that you could quite happily, that you could use quite easily compared to years ago in The Sims 4, especially with these cannons and stuff. With like Howl's Moving Castle, they had these like cannons coming out the front of the house itself. So these cannons paid quite good respect to them. I was very much here for them. I really much was. I was going to, I don't know if I end up using the roof. I do. I end up using this roof section, but then I go around and put on those wooden awnings around it as well. And it just, it wasn't perfect. They kind of like lay on it a little bit weirdly, but the aesthetic of it came through for me. And that was all that mattered. It really was. But yeah, I loved this movie. Howl's Moving Castle was such a good movie. It was amazing. The art style, and it was just the way the castle, like the way it walked and stuff as well. It was just, it was so good. So good. One Ghibli movie I've not watched is Castle in the Sky. I've never seen that one. Maybe I'll do that later this evening. I think I might, you know. Yes, I will. These like little circle bits that I'm putting out the back were supposed to be those kind of like sails that the house had. I couldn't find anything in game that kind of looked like it. It was a little bit difficult to try and find something that looked like it. But, yeah, it's not too bad. It's not perfect. But this was probably my favorite build to do out of the whole lot of them. And it had to come last. I was just like, I'm definitely going to leave that till last because I want to get really creative. That weird glitch on the roof trims at the minute, it's been in the game for so long now. Please, Sims team. Please sort that out, because it just makes some of the builds look so crappy, and I don't even think it's been addressed. Like, can we please just get that sorted? Me talking to them like they watch my videos. Don't be so daft, Aiden. But yeah, look, it's coming along. It's coming along. I ended up getting rid of quite a few of the chimneys. I was like, that's a bit overkill, Aiden. You're going a bit overkill now. And I ended up mixing the chimneys up because there was quite a few different chimneys on the actual house itself. So I really wanted to kind of get that point across. And I ended up using these like baseball bats for the legs. It was the only thing that had that kind of like angle in game. They were the only things that I could find. And I was just like, oh, that's just going to have to do. It's just going to have to do. It's fine. We love it. We're here for it. And that is all that matters. All that matters indeed. But yeah, it's very cute. It is very, very cute. I'm in love with it. I love this little castle. It would be cool to try and do this on a bigger scale. Maybe I'll do that one day. But for now, we've got a little mini one, and that's just what we're going to have to do. We really are. We're just going to have the mini one. Anyway, guys, I have waffled on for far too long. My voice is hurting. I've talked too much. I'm going to leave you now. I'm unsure when this is going to end, so I might just have to like skip off and you could just watch the rest of the build with some music on. There's not much time left, I promise you. But yeah, you're going to go ahead now and watch the video tour, and I'm going to see you on Tuesday in my next video. Bye, everyone.